Hello everyone, I'm Dan Philgreen, and this is Shell Point Today for Monday, July 15th. On today's show, we go behind the scenes at the Shell Point Laundry, where hardworking employees keep our sheets and towels looking their whitest. We'll also visit the Brightest Horizons Child Development Center, which gives a leg up to the low-income families and children of our local area. But first, a message for all of you MyQuesters out there. If you have a yellow LifeQuest t-shirt, then be sure to wear it to a special event happening this morning in the Grand Cypress Room, where Don Boren and Mary Franklin will motivate you to make the most out of your LifeQuest goals. You've seen the change in people like Dot Beard, who is featured in this month's Shell Point Life magazine. So it's time to see what's possible in your life. Once again, if you've got a yellow LifeQuest t-shirt, then wear it to the MyQuesters event, happening this morning at 10 a.m. in the Grand Cypress Room. And then we've got another event tomorrow for a more exclusive group, people who were born and raised in Florida. Yes, those people actually do exist, and many of them live right here at Shell Point. The Florida they grew up in is a far different place than the Florida of today, and you can share all of those memories at a Get to Know Your Neighbor event for Florida natives, happening tomorrow at 2 p.m. in the Grand Cypress Room. So, if you've lived in Florida since the 1950s or 60s, or even before that, come mix and mingle and share your stories. Once again, the Florida Native event happens tomorrow at 2 p.m. in the Grand Cypress Room, and light refreshments will be served. Also tomorrow, we start our behind-the-scenes tours of the Shell Point Laundry facility. Many of you may not know that we have an industrial laundry right here in the Island Tunnel. And while this department kind of stays below the radar, it's impossible to overlook the hard work that these dedicated employees undertake every day, washing towels and sheets and napkins all over Shell Point. Lynn Schneider has this report.
Hi, I'm Lynn Schneider, and today is another Behind the Scenes at Shell Point. Today we're going to be learning all about the laundry. That's one of the areas here at Shell Point that most residents haven't had a chance to see. And with me I've got two laundry experts. First, I've got Paul Yakovich, our property manager here at Shell Point, and Joseph Julmius, who is our laundry supervisor. And these two fellows are going to teach us all there is to know about the laundry. And I'm going to be put to work today, is that right?
You bet you, Lynn. We're all set for you, and we need your help back there.
Well, I can't wait. And you're going to take us into Joseph's world now, aren't you?
You're right. So you coming to me, and I'm going to bring you into the world of laundry.
Well, here we are. Now we're in the heart of the laundry center. Tell me a little bit about the area that we're in.
The dirty product is delivered to this area where it's offloaded and put into the washing machines. The capacity of the washing machines are 125 pounds. We experience maybe 6 to 9 loads per washer per day. And again, that puts us in close to 2 tons, sometimes over 2 tons of laundry per day.
After the laundry leaves the washing center, what happens to it next?
It's transported next door. It goes into the dryers. And again, each one of those dryers has a capacity to hold 125 pounds plus of product. Once it's taken out of the dryers, if it's a small item such as a washcloth, face cloth, bath mat, etc., it's hand folded, put into the large transport bins for distribution. The larger items like tablecloths and sheets are put through what we call, it's a flat ironer, a Chicago flat ironer. That machine not only presses the product, but it folds the product when it comes out the other end. There are 10 permanently assigned to the laundry. On average, we have 7 working during the day, because sometimes we have to work weekends and to split those shifts. Also, during peak periods, if housekeepers come out of the field early, they'll go back into the laundry and help to fold laundry. Every piece of laundry is handled 4 or 5 times individually, because it has to go into the washer, out of the washer, into the dryer, out of the dryer, and then folded individually and then stored individually before it's dispersed. The schedule at the pavilion runs the laundry because we have to meet the 3 shifts at the pavilion. So all the other laundry on the island and in both the assisted living facilities and independent living, that production schedule is all worked around those 3 shifts. So our primary responsibility is to at the pavilion and our deliveries to meet those deliveries 3 times a day. But sometimes, based on other activities, they may need some more, be it washcloths or towels. Joseph has a long string attached to him, so when they need extra washcloths or towels or whatever the product may be, they just reach out on the radio and touch them, as I say, and Joseph's quick to respond.
Now, Joseph, tell me, what is one of the things that you're most proud of here at the laundry service?
I use safety and keep the job done well every day. So far, almost 6-7 years, and never got injured in the laundry. Everybody's safe, come in and clean and do the job well and go home safety.
There are a lot of features here in the laundry system that are done to provide for safety for the employees who are working there. So, Paul, tell us a little bit about some of the safety features, and in particular, this card is one of them, isn't it?
That's correct, Lynn. One of the things, as you can imagine, is we handle literally tons of product every day, is the lifting and transportation of the product. This particular cart is designed, as you can see, it's full of face cloths, is spring-loaded, and which brings the product up to the employee, so they're not forced to bend over, which is a safety feature which protects them from a potential injury of their back. Another comment on the staff that we're particularly proud of is the longevity. We have almost half of the staff has been employed with Shell Point for over 6 years, and we have one employee, Harrietta, that has been with Shell Point for 26 years.
All right, now one of the things that I've noticed is I don't see the laundry workers very often. Where's the laundry located?
The laundry facility is located in the old tunnel. It's essentially under the Crystal Dining Room kitchen. And one of the things that I like to point out is this is a total back-of-the-house operation. The staff works very hard to provide a product that every resident uses, either in their apartment or while they're dining in the Crystal Dining Room or one of the other facilities or during a special event, but they never get to see our staff, and they work very, very, very hard. That's why I'm pleased that you took the time to come over to show the rest of Shell Point just who our staff is and how hard they work to support our residents.
Well, it was my pleasure. That's been another behind the scenes here at Shell Point. Today we visited the laundry and we saw the hard work that they do and the wonderful service that they provide to our Shell Point residents.
If you've signed up to see the laundry room in person with our behind the scenes tour, then be ready. Tours start tomorrow morning, then on Wednesday morning, and again on Thursday morning at 9 a.m., starting in the Manatee Room. We now are proud to show you our recent visit to the Brightest Horizons Child Development Center. It's located just down Gladiolus Road from Shell Point. Brightest Horizons is more than just a daycare. They are educating the children of low-income families of Lee County, providing a safe place for them during the day, as well as feeding them, and providing enrichment opportunities for everyone, from cuddly infants to rambunctiously noisy 2-year-olds to 12-year-old students. They also have volunteer opportunities for you, as Melody Desolé discovered in today's Volunteer Corner.
Hi Shell Point, my name is Melody Desolé. I'm the volunteer coordinator here today at Brightest Horizons Child Development Center with a very special woman. Her name is Tina Parsons. She's the executive director of this wonderful center. Can you tell me a brief history of Brightest Horizons? Because I know it didn't start out as Brightest Horizons.
Sure. Brightest Horizons actually started out as the Lee County Mission Board in 1958. A group of church women got together and tried to determine how they could help the Gladiolus field workers. Migrant workers at that time would come from all over the country and they would work in the Gladiolus fields, which were just along Gladiolus Drive. And a group donated the property here and built a meeting place, so the greatest need became childcare. So in 1974, Brightest Horizons started providing childcare. Currently, we can care for children between the ages of 4 weeks and 12 years, and our mission is to care for children of low-income working families. We care for everyone, so we have a huge, diverse population. Right now, we have about 170 children enrolled. We're going to go through this door, which is the infant room. These are our infants as young as 4 weeks and as old as 1 year.
As you can see, there's a lot of bright colors in here, a lot of variation of toys. Everything looks very immaculate and clean. There's diversity in the group. So this is a great center already, and I enjoy this room in particular with the infants.
So we try to wait until the children are on their feet and walking, because as you'll see when we move next door, when we move into the toddler room, the children do not have cribs anymore, they're not in high chairs, and they really are making a big transition. So these boys and girls are about 1 year old. Most of them stay on this side until they're about 18 months old, and then they transfer over to the other side where we have even busier 1 year olds. Once they hit about 21 months of age, we begin the potty training process in coordination with the parents. So when they move into the 2 year old classroom, hopefully they will be almost potty trained.
Now you'll hear in the interview that the volume is getting louder and louder, and that's because we have very active children in here, and you can see they're having a little playtime and sing-along songs here. Now you had said that some of the workers have been here upwards of 15 years, and they've seen some of these children grow up. What are some of the long-lasting benefits that these children have received through the center?
A lot of the children who come to Brightest Horizons now come from English as a second language homes. So our philosophy is that we are an English-based center. So the children hearing the English language, singing songs in the English language, and interacting with their teachers in English has been a huge benefit. I have children in our school age room who have been here for 8 or 9 years and are starting to now interpret for their parents. So that will also help the families in the long run. Some of my staff members came here as children, and sometimes when I'm out in the community with my Brightest Horizons shirt on, someone will say, "Oh, I went to Brightest Horizons when I was a child."
Now, Tina, we're in the above 2 range, right?
Yes.
And you had forewarned us, be prepared to get hugged when we walk in the door. And as you can see, these beautiful little children are so curious and so friendly. Can you tell us, are volunteers allowed to interact with these children?
Yes, definitely. Volunteers play a big role at Brightest Horizons. We have volunteers who will come into the 2 year old classroom. They may read stories, they may play with Play-Doh, they may just sit down on the floor and be that one-on-one time for the child that they don't usually get. The other thing that's important too is a lot of these children come from single parent homes, and they may not have any grandparents in the picture as well. So having other folks come in and get to interact with those children, different intergenerational activities, it really is a benefit to the children.
And when would you need volunteers most?
The center opens at 6:30 in the morning and closes at 6 p.m. Volunteers are welcome anytime it fits into their schedule. What I like to do is I like to bring a volunteer in, give them a tour, have them look at all of the different classrooms, and have them figure out where they think they might fit best. Someone may think they are interested in holding and rocking babies all day, but then when they get in there, they may decide, this really isn't the place for me. So I like to be very open, and we have so many different opportunities here that I like volunteers to be able to see where they fit best. This building was built in 1960, so it's about 53 years old. My teachers were able to paint all the wonderful child-inspired paintings out here, which has helped people stop in to say, I see you must be about children. Is there something I can do to help?
Now, looking around, we see the progression of letters and numbers and family importance and things. Can you tell me about preschool?
We're introducing the letter sounds. We're introducing them to counting. We try to encourage them to count as high as they can. They're working on one-to-one correspondence. They're working on figuring out that you put letters together to make words. And yes, they start that at 3 years old. It's absolutely amazing.
And you're also showing them the importance of socialization and talking with others and respecting their elders and things of that nature as well. So it's very crucial for them as they're growing.
It is. We talk about being responsible, being respectful, being kind and caring, and then we try to show them, model what we expect from them.
So what you offset the cost for allows these children to have a better education, more opportunities that they may have not received otherwise.
Absolutely, and these children come from very, very low income homes. We don't turn away anyone. Our mission is to serve low income working families, so the majority, about 95% of our children, do come from low income homes. This classroom is VPK, which stands for Voluntary Pre-Kindergarten. We're trying to prepare our 4-year-olds to go into public school when they turn 5. Our program runs with the public school year, but during the summer months we also try to incorporate different activities and projects for the children to make sure they keep their skills up and ready to go into kindergarten in August. A lot of these children come to us at 4 years old not speaking any English. So I work with a group of about 30 or 40 volunteers who come in Monday through Friday morning for about an hour to an hour and a half. We call it our Reading Buddies program. Now those folks will work with small groups of children, maybe 3 or 4, and they're teaching them the English language, they're doing letter identification, and they're working on Kindles, so the children also get that technology. And Brightest Horizons provides all those tools and even lesson plans for that specific group of volunteers.
Now, Tina, we're in the school age section of the center. Can you tell us a little bit about after-school care that you have here?
Sure. A lot of our children come before they go to public school. They can be dropped off as early as 6:30 in the morning, and then they're walked right behind us to Heights Elementary by 7:30. Then they come back about 2:30, and that's when we have our homework hour. We really feel that it's important that we provide mentors and tutors after school because we have about 40 after-school children enrolled. I have 4 teachers that I employ, but having those extra hands-on to help those children with their homework during the school year is really important.
Now, if a resident is interested, whether they want to take care of infants upwards of 12 years old, how would they start the process of volunteering here?
The easiest thing is to go on our website, www.brightesthorizons.org. You can fill out a volunteer application online. You can bring it in person. If they want to stop by, if they're driving by in the neighborhood, they can do that. We can arrange a tour. We try to be very open and accepting whenever anyone stops by if they're interested in volunteering, to let them know a little bit more about us and what those requirements might be.
So what we've learned today, besides our ABCs and numbers and things, is that volunteers are really very appreciated here. They're needed. You can range from 4-week-old to 12 years old and everything in between. We need you, Shell Point residents, out at Brightest Horizons. If you want to take a tour, they're very welcoming here. The kids will give you hugs and everything else. And you can also log on to www.brightesthorizons.org to find out more information. Tina, thank you so much for the special time, and we appreciate you and what you do for these children.
Thank you.
Coming up, we are covering all of Monday's happenings. But before that, David Howenstein has a preview of his Channel 13 radio program, Listening to the Words.
Finding out why hearing the birds can be as good as seeing them. Learning from a blind teacher that it takes more than seeing your students to communicate with them. Discovering a meadow in the ocean where you can see frozen flowers everywhere. Meeting 2 Shell Pointers, one talking back to his mom, the other plugged into Listening to the Words, every one of them. I'm David Howenstein, inviting you to tune to Shell Point TV's Channel 13 every day this week and spend 30 minutes just listening to the words.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Happening segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Bev Chandley and this is Suzanne Zavada, and we're going to go over today's activities for you. We're going to head down to the tennis courts at 9 o'clock for round robin men's doubles tennis. Then 9:15, the billiards game will be going on in the Resident Activities Center. And at 9:15, we also have pottery with instruction available in the pottery studio. Our last 9:15 activity is virtual bowling. That'll be also in the Resident Activity Center. At 10 o'clock, all the My Questers out there are going to meet in the Grand Cypress Room at the Woodlands. And then 10:30, Disciple Men's Bible Study Group will be in the Game Room at the Woodlands. 10:45 is the time for table tennis to be played down in the Tarpon Room, and this is the playing clinic. And we move to 11:30, where you have a Health Connections class. This one's specifics in strength training. That'll be in the Health Club, but that's currently full. That's the morning lineup. Here's Suzanne to tell you about the afternoon.
Thank you, Bev. We'll start the afternoon off at 12 o'clock with Mahjong in the Sable Room at the Woodlands. At 1:15, we have Scrabble in the Library Lounge on the island, and we also have table tennis in the Tarpon Room on the island. At 1:45, we have a Health Connections, Balance and Mobility, Training Level 1 in the Health Club on the island, and this is closed. At 2 o'clock, the Beady-Eyed Bead Club will meet in the Oak Room at the Woodlands. And at 3 o'clock, we have another Health Connections, Pilates Stretch in the Health Club on the island. At 4:30, we have a trip leaving, singles only dinner outing to Bahama Breeze. Court pickups will begin at 4:30 on the island, 4:40 at the Woodlands, and 4:50 at Eagles Preserve. Sign up is required. At 6:30, Duplicate Bridge will be playing in the Game Room at the Woodlands. And our last Monday activity is 7 o'clock square dancing in the Health Club on the island. We hope you have a good Monday, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Terry Kolath with your Academy information for Monday. At 10:15, the Anatomy of Words continues in the Buttonwood Room of the Woodlands, and they continue to welcome everyone. I'd like to tell you about a new class coming tomorrow, The History of the United States to 1815, with Professor Adrian Keir. Sign up is required, and you can sign up right at class.
Menus for Monday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is grilled marinated pork chops with mashed sweet potatoes and buttered peas. The dinner special is the Home Cooking Night for $9.95, and the soup of the day is Senate Bean. In the Island Cafe for lunch, enjoy a grilled chicken sandwich with special sauce and a side salad for $6.95. The dinner special is grilled tilapia with fruit salsa, rice pilaf, and mixed vegetables for $7.95. And the Palm Grill is closed on Mondays. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Let me welcome you today to Village Church Connections. Thank you for joining us, and I want to especially welcome my guest, Jim Houba.
Thank you, Glenda.
Jim, you're a resident here at Shell Point, and we have talked with you several times already about a trip that you just completed to Nicaragua. Yes. And I know the trip was a blessing on many levels.
It was.
Let's start by telling us again what it was that you were intending to accomplish while you were there.
Well, we went with word from there, the church there, that they would like to have a dirt area in front of the Sunday school rooms cemented, okay? And if we could get to it, could we paint the church, because it all had faded out due to the sun. So we took their list, and we were blessed with the funds to buy all those materials, and got the crew ready, and that's what we went to do, and we, with God's help for sure, did it.
You accomplished your mission.
We accomplished indeed, yes.
That's good news. And I know that along the way you had a number of experiences that were really meaningful. One of them had to do with paint, and yes, it was how God kind of orchestrated your steps. Tell us about that.
Well, we were pretty well finished with the cementing, so they didn't need me. So I went with the church people, the elders, and we went to buy paint. We knew at that time 15 gallons would do for us. Mm-hmm. So we went to the first industrial paint supplier. Oh, we only have 3 quarts. Well, we needed 15. So we went to the second one. Oh, we don't plan to have that color in inventory in the near future. Sorry. We're pretty disheartened by this point. So we go to the third industrial supplier, and we were unhappy at that point. And back to what I've used several times, but God. Whenever it says but God, it means that there's something after that that he wants to accomplish or to bless you with. So in this case, there was another but God. And the young man at the counter said, oh yes, we have that color, and yes, we can deliver it to you. And he played with his keyboard and says that we can offer you a church discount. And then he whispered something else, and he said, you've got people coming from the USA to do this project? Oh yes. Well, we're going to give you an extra discount. So the Lord saved the best for last. We were disheartened when we walked through that third door, and we not only got the paint, but we got it at a very nice discount. Everyone was happy, and we were truly blessed. Yeah.
It's great to see how God works just the details out for you when you do a trip like this. Yeah. And I know that you took with you some of these little vehicles made by some of our Shell Point residents. Tell us about that.
Well, on the very, it was a Sunday, almost our next to last day, we went to a Campo church. It's a church with a roof and nothing on either side. And so just a startup church on a piece of property. Maybe about 20 people in the congregation with maybe a dozen kids. So at the very end, the pastor was pleased to give me the podium and said, yes, you can give these away. So we called the little kids up, and to see the joy expressed in their faces, it's something they hadn't seen before. And they looked at it, you're giving me something for free, and it's so nice. And it was just a delight to hand it out. So it was really a joy for me, and certainly kids were just excited to receive them. Yeah.
That's great. And I know some of those that contributed to the project will enjoy seeing the pictures of those happy faces.
Indeed, indeed.
And I know your team had some opportunities to experience some Latin culture, some Latin worship.
Yes.
How'd that go?
Well, when you see what Randy does in our church, it's what we like. Mm-hmm. That culture likes a lot of loudness and a lot of drums and a lot of what they call parlantes, which are large speakers. And you're in a building that doesn't have anything soft, so it all bounces off of the walls and ceilings. So it's loud, and they stand. They stand. Every chorus that is sung is done standing, and the only time you sit is when they pray or when the pastor's delivering the message. So that was a little bit different for some of us. Some of us were used to it and others were not, and it's a lot of standing to go from one course to another. But they're worshiping from their very being. Mm-hmm. So you know that it wasn't just making loud noises, that they were doing something, that they were really respecting God, standing on their feet and singing from their heart. There's no doubt about that. Yeah.
And I know from my own experiences doing similar kinds of things, even if you don't understand the language, you have a strong sense that their worship's genuine.
Absolutely.
And you really appreciate it. Jim, thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing some of your story. Thank you for joining us as well. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
We're glad you've joined us for today's show. Tune in tomorrow as the Memory Care Group offers tips and tricks for getting the most out of your memory. We'll also share some memories with Mildred Daughter, who worked in the Christian and Missionary Alliance offices in New York City, as well as in the Philippines. Until then, this is Shell Point Today for Monday, July 15th. I'm Dan Philgreen, and from all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope that you have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.